I stopped guessing in these Forex markets after I started following this system. Let me show you. All right, so now let's break down what I actually use to enter my trades. I'm also going to show you how I actually position myself for take profits and how I set my stop losses. So this will basically be my full systems, even with my risk to reward ratio. Now, when I'm looking at charts, basically I'm looking for market structure first off. I'm looking to see whether we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. Now, as you can see, this was a downtrend. We were dropping down, retesting, and then we end up retesting, making all of that. That was something small, but based off of this, what I would look to do is where we're at now. I'm going to be using this to see what we could be doing for our next move. Now, based off of this, we didn't touch these lows. So now we rejected off of these lows, which tells me that based from this rejection, we're already buying. So, all right, we see the buy. Now I'm simply looking for a breakout and retest. That's the main thing that I'm using is I'm looking for something like this. You got a box or a consolidating zone, and then we get a breakout. We had a very small retest, and this is the continuation. So on this part of the move, that's where I'm always looking to get in at. So we simply just been doing that breakout, retest, push up, or continuation, retest, continuation. Right here, we retested this part, pushed up, doing the exact same thing. So that's simply what I'm looking for is breakouts and retests. And based on the continuation of the retest, I'm looking to get in a trade. Now, based on what we see in here, this market it's not really like in a complete just trend like in this area. So I look to the left and we can see that we do have an overall uptrend. Like when you just zoom out, this is an overall uptrend. But based on where we at, I'm looking for us to break out past this point, since this point up here, since we didn't already retested these lows and we have a buy. And then when we look on the weekly, we start to see that still we have an overall uptrend. But for the past 4 weeks, this market has been hitting these lows and it's been having a complete rejection. So this the first week we came down here, rejected. This week we completely flipped to the top side. This week and this week we're doing the same thing. So I'm expecting based on this weekly rejection that we've gotten for 4 weeks, for us to open up into this new week and get a buy. Now it's very possible that we could get the same pattern and I could get stomped out, but that's a risk that I'm willing to take because it looked like it's going to go for me. So we're gonna see what happens. And as you can obviously see, this is the point where we're still buying it. We got the same thing down here, hit these lows, then hit these lows and start turning around. So the uptrend is there. Now we do have, I mean, this would technically be like a head and shoulders pattern. So, I mean, we really just see what happens. To be honest, I'm willing to just see what happens. If I lose, I lose. If I don't, I mean, we just take profit. So that's basically what I see. And as far as for my take profit zones, I basically use like the zones. Like I use support and resistance. So from down here, I got in about right here. We technically would have hit TP1, but this would be the second TP. And once we get here, then this is like my last TP. Well, it'll probably be my last TP. But based on the weekly, depending on how much it go, I possibly hold to the next zone. We really just see how the market goes, and I'm just gonna follow the market. Like that's simply what I'm gonna do. And that's how I set my TPs up. I simply look for the next zone going either up or down, depending on if I'm buying or selling. And then I'm gonna go from there. And then I mean I use the 15-minute time frame as well. So I usually look at the daily. Well, I look at the weekly to start the week out. I look at the daily. I look at the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 15 minute. And every now and then I do check the 5 minute and sometimes the 1 minute, but not too much for real. Mainly the 15, the lowest that I'm really going. And on this 15 minute, you could really just see these patterns just more defined. We had a very clear sell, boom, breakout, retest, continuation, then retest, continuation, started to same thing. The pattern don't change. That's the simple pattern that you're looking for. And now that you see that, you could have got in on this trade. Either you wanted to get in on a breakout and you hold through the retest, or you wait on a continuation and then boom, you get through that. But you don't always want to get in on a breakout before the retest happen, because you can get faked out depending on what the market is doing. So that continuation part of the move is actually way, way better for you not to actually get faked out, because sometimes it will happen. And as you see on the 15-minute, we done retested these lows. We made a higher low. So this may retest down up in here somewhere and then continue moving forward, or it's just gonna shoot straight up and then make a retest after that. But I do expect us to continue to buy. We got higher low here. We got higher lows here. This was a higher low, but we retested this higher low, and now we made another one right here. So it's, I mean, hey, you just wait. We just simply wait. That's it. And yeah, as far as my stop loss, since I usually like don't place my stop losses right under wherever I'm getting in at. So let's say I bought in around right up in here. I wouldn't place my stop loss right here because they're just too close to me. I think that, I mean, I want to protect myself from any retest. And this stop, well, this support zone, which this wasn't even really fully a support zone, so I definitely wouldn't do that. That's just too tight for me. I like to give it room. And this support zone, we just now breaking out, getting the continuation. So I usually like to give it a little bit more of a gap by going to the previous support, because here, I mean, since we just now breaking out, you want to give it room to continue to make more like supports or bases or whatever you want to call them. So then you actually don't get stopped out, especially if you swing trading. Now, if you scalping, maybe you would put your stop loss here or put your stop loss there. But to clarify, I mainly swing trade. Like I usually hold my trades for like a day or 2 days, and sometimes the move could play out in one day, but for the most part, I do hold my trades for a couple hours. So I'm not always just like in and out. I'm usually holding. And when I hold, I like to just collect as much profit as I can. And now, as far as my risk to reward, I usually do a 1 to 2. So I risk about 10% of my account to make 20%. But on a trade like this, which I actually caught this week on GJ, I definitely did not go for a 1 or 2, and I'm very happy that I did it. So this, I ended up catching from here. I got in from about right here, which I could zoom in for you. I seen us breaking out of this structure zone. I got in about, well, I got my stuff right here, so I must have got in exactly like right up in here. Bought up to here, and I literally just held this trade all the way to about up here. So this is on the hour time frame. This is like a full day and a half, almost 2 days of just holding. And honestly, that's a 1 to 5. And this market came all the way up to here, which I honestly was looking at holding to about right here. Well, I wasn't looking at holding to about right here, but I had got like, I had seen that I could hold to about right there, and I was thinking about it, but I didn't actually hold to right there. And I honestly wish that I did hold to right there, for real, because I ended up making $1,000 on this trade just alone. So up here would have been about 2,500, and based on where we're at now, that would have been a $5,000 trade, and that would have been holding literally for the full week from Monday through Friday. Because I entered this trade Monday night during London session, and I held it into Tuesday evening at the close of basically like the market day in general. So, well, it was about 2 o'clock when I closed, 2 p.m., and it just hit my take profit. But as you see, as soon as it hit my take profit, that money just was booming. So I made 1,100 right here. This obviously would have been about 2 racks, like if I would have just held. Like so, so it's just like, okay, these are the type of moves that I'm starting to look for more. So as far as for risk to reward, I definitely have seen 1 to 2 being like something real consistent, something that you could get in very more often and get out. But now I'm looking at like swing trading a bit more. Because if I can hold one big trade and just make my full week's worth of profit, like I'm good with that. Like even if we just held to right here, we didn't even have to get that whole move. If we just held to right here, that would have been 2,500. I was happy with that. So that is a risk to reward you can use is 1 to 2. And as swing traders, I mean, if you see good moves, you can hold a bit longer and still risk your 10% and just make more in profit. It make more sense. And if he wanted to scale into the position, because I did, I honestly did. When we got about halfway coming into about this mark, I had ended up grabbing another position and just held it up. So if you want to scale in your position, you can do that. And yeah, that's everything. So I've shown you how I enter my trade. I showed you what patterns and what structure I'm looking for to even take a trade. I showed you how I'm setting up my profit zones, and I showed you how I set up my stop losses. So if you're somebody that's still looking to become profitable, or if you're new and you don't even understand how to like get into a trade, this can show you what patterns you can look for. And honestly, I would tell you to study like candles, learn how each individual candle moves so you could be able to read them and learn more about patterns and structures, support and resistance, and that's simply what you need. Like price action, support and resistance, and to mark up your zones, and you'll be okay. So that's that. For anybody that is interested in learning more and you would like to be more connected, where you can ask me direct questions, you can even trade live with me so you can learn from me and make some money with me. Listen, I have a school community. The link is inside of the bio. The first 7 days is free, and the goal is to make you more than enough money to pay for your actual subscription. Because after that, it's only $97. So we're going to make that $100 for you light work. That's easy. That's nothing. So anybody that would like to be connected, that would like to trade with me and learn from me, click the link inside of my bio and get inside of the community. And I'll see y'all on the next one.